Good morning, everyone. I hope that prayer was good and it's another sunny day. Good morning, session. Losing my voice, sorry. So we're really privileged to be joined this morning by Tallie Proud, who's come to speak from the Church of England. She's the Digital Communications Officer. She's been there for almost 5 years now. And they've had some really great projects out and they've been reaching people digitally, so it would be great to hear from her. And then after the coffee break, she's going to do another session about digital labs, which is something that the Church of England have put on, with a little activity. So thanks for coming.
Thank you. Hello everyone. So yeah, I'm Digital Comms Officer. I'm part of the digital team at Church House Westminster. We're a team of 5. About 2 years ago, we got a bit of funding to do some digital stuff. Before that, I was the sole digital person for the Church of England, which kept me busy. But now we're a team of 5. We get to do lots of more fun stuff. We've got more resources to really push the Church of England forward digitally, and hopefully you'll see a lot of that in the presentation. So why are we doing this? Well, you may have seen this already. I don't know. 330 million Twitter monthly active users, 800 million on Instagram, and 2 billion on Facebook. So there's a lot of people.
Wow.
There's a lot of people online, and we need to be speaking to them. And this is just growing exponentially. I mean, only a few months ago, that was 600 million on Instagram. So they're expecting to get to 1 billion probably sometime this year. So it's growing fast. And we've got 90% of the UK has internet access at home. 73% of adults access the internet on the go using a mobile phone or smartphone, and 66% are active social media users. So it just shows how ingrained now social media and digital has become in the UK. So that's really important that we also are in that space. We say that the Church of England's kind of slogan is a Christian presence in every community, and for us that means the online community as well. It's a nice little cartoon I like about us. We're a smartphone society now. It keeps me from looking at my phone every 2 seconds. So, with the introduction of the new team, we've got a new digital communication strategy. So, this is what it is. Our 3 key focuses is digital evangelism, digital discipleship, and the common good. So that's everything we do has to fit into one of those 3 buckets. And the way we're doing this is through a growing social media presence, making a lot more of our social media, and also transformed national websites. I don't know if you saw the old Church of England website, or you'll see in a minute. That had existed for quite a few years and just wasn't doing what it needed to do. So a big thing for us was to start from the ground up, get our foundations right with brand new websites. And one of the things we focus on for these 3 sections and with all our social media is we have key audiences we have in mind. So everything we do has to be for one of these audiences. So we've got a PCC member, we've got parents, we've got people exploring faith, we've got a non-Christian, a wedding couple, etc., etc. And these are quite broad and basic. We're going to deepen those in the next few years. But these are the people we want to be speaking to.
What is a PCC member?
The church has a kind of council that kind of makes decisions, and that's called the PCC. And so that's someone who is very invested in the church.
Is there any non-Christian, non-church people in your group?
Yeah, we've got a non-Christian here. So they may be coming to our churches for tourism reasons. They may be coming because we're running activities in the church, but they're not Christian themselves. We still want to reach those people. So these are the audiences we are constantly reaching. If it doesn't fit one of these audiences, we're not going to focus on it. And it's served us well so far. We've reached about 1.2 million people on social media each month. That's through Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Instagram is our most recent of the 4 that we've got involved in, and we're finding it's really been effective so far. We've gained about 4,000 followers in a year, which doesn't seem like a lot, but for the Church of England it's quite a lot. And one of the things that's really engaging people is prayer. So we do prayer graphics daily, and we also have some prayer videos. And the prayer graphics reach about 20,000 people a day. The prayer videos can be 50, 60, 70,000 people. And we've been doing this for quite a while now. Whenever there is a major incident, whether it's a terrorist attack or something major that's affecting the entire country, we put out a prayer, and it reaches a lot of people. And the reason we do this is because for them, being able to share a prayer or read a prayer, it's like lighting a digital candle. They can't do anything in that particular situation to help, but they can read a prayer or share a prayer. So we make sure that, in those situations, we are the people that we are, the organisation that people come to get that prayer, to get that moment of peace whatever's happening. And again, this reaches a lot of people. So at critical moments, our prayers receive more than 1.3 million views. Yes?
Is it possible to ask questions along the way?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I come from Church in Norway, I'm from missionary there, and we have exactly the same sort of policy in a way of, we also see that prayers attract a lot of engagement and so on. We have also faced some problems around when we post prayers or something around terror attacks, crises, etc. Because we are criticized for choosing just some terror attacks. And we have been discussing where do we sort of set the limit, is it the closer, of course, to Norway something happens, the more engaged people are, obviously. But we find it quite difficult. We have been accused of not being, saying anything about things going on far away, or if Muslims are the main victims, etc. Do you have any experience in that and how to deal with it?
We've certainly had the same criticism at times. It is a really tricky line to walk, and for us it's just on a case-by-case basis, really. I mean, there have been times where we actually haven't put out a prayer, something really local has happened, we haven't put out a prayer, and we've just shared what the church is doing locally to help that situation, which obviously we can't do if it's something, on the other side of the world. It's really hard to tell. It's the kind of thing where you just have to play it by ear, and it's normally a consensus of our entire comms team have a chat and say, do we need a prayer for this situation? And then we figure it out from there. But it can be hard to decide, what to put out a prayer for and what not to. You can end up putting out a prayer for absolutely everything, and then is that actually effective? So the other thing that we do a lot of now is campaigns. So particularly at Christmas and Easter. So last Christmas we did #GodWithUs, and then this Lent we did #LiveLent. I don't know if you saw any of the posts from us anywhere being shared? A little bit, possibly, yeah. So God With Us reached 6.8 million and LiveLent reached about 3.5 million. And that is a combination of video, graphics, emails, and also booklets. So we, just because we're doing digital doesn't mean we don't do things by print. So it was a really kind of holistic campaign where we wanted to get as many departments in the Church of England together, working together to do the best campaign possible. And we'll do the same again this coming Christmas, where we've already been planning that, so that's exciting. So the videos that we put out, we had 2 million views, 98,000 copies of the little reflections booklet that we printed, 844,000 views of the Christmas Journey reflections, so that was like video versions of the booklet, and then 1.5 million views of the newer Church in EU, which I'll show you in a second. So, what we're having is people, they're engaging with the booklets. There was an email version of the booklets. And they're also going to a church near you and finding a church for their Christmas service, which was the whole point of the campaign, was to get people into a physical location. Just because we're doing digital doesn't mean we're saying do online church all the time. We're saying use digital to bring people into a physical space. Just got some of the feedback from Christmas, which I thought was quite nice. I quite like this one. Back problems prevent me from going to church every week, so it's very helpful to receive reflections such as yours. Thank you. So, you know, some of it can be helping people who can't get out of the house very often. Thoroughly enjoyed the reflections. Gave me an opportunity to sit and spend time with God. Thank you. So, you know, we were very pleased with this. And so campaigns are a big part of our year now. We're planning everything to these key points in the calendar, which we know we can reach as many people as possible. A third way we use digital online is user-generated content. So from our office in London, it's hard for us to get some nice photos of what churches are doing around the country. So we use what the churches tweet. For about a year, we did a Twitter moment every week. Does anyone know what Twitter moment is? Twitter moment. So if you go onto Twitter, you'll see a little, it's a lightning symbol, it should be, and it's a page where you've got lots of different Twitter moments, and they're kind of curated stories of tweets. So some are created by Twitter themselves, and some are self-generated. Anyone can create a Twitter moment, and what you're doing is you're putting a group of tweets in a row, and then you're sharing that out. You're telling a story, because sometimes there's, you know, something fun's happened, something interesting's happened over lots of different Twitter accounts, and you want to bring them all together and share that out so people could see it in one place rather than having to follow the story on different accounts. So we use Twitter moments to bring together lots of different tweets from all the churches of what was happening in our churches that week, to show that it wasn't just about Sunday, it was about what the church was doing the whole week. And they've been really well received, because it is showing what the church is up to, whether it's a food bank, whether it's a baptism visit, whether it's a confirmation. We have all sorts happening throughout the week, and these moments are helping to show what those things are. And it's been really good for particular days where we don't want to do a full campaign, but we want to show what that day is about. So we've got Ascension Day coming up tomorrow, and so last Ascension Day we did a Twitter moment where we shared all the tweets from churches holding an Ascension Day service to show what churches did on that particular day. And we can start to explain these particular services and days in the Christian calendar, which non-Christian people probably wouldn't understand. So they're like, why is a load of people standing on a church roof? Here's the answer. So Twitter moments are a good thing to have a look at if you haven't already, to show what your church is up to.
And why do you prioritize Twitter instead of Facebook for sharing?
It's easier to get photos for us from Twitter. In terms of engagement, Facebook for us is the place to be, and we prioritise that, but for getting user-generated content, it has to be Twitter for us.
Okay.
And to make sure we're getting good photos and churches are tweeting good things, we're training them up. So me and my colleague Amaris have spent the last 9-10 months travelling around the country and training up. The aim was 500 parishes by July, and we will have managed that. We're very tired. But it's been really, really good, because we've now got a load of churches who are enthusiastic about social media, and they're not so scared anymore by it. And that's really, really good. So hopefully we'll get a lot more photos, a lot more churches just really communicating well about what they're doing on social media. So that's been fantastic. So yes, the Church of England website. This has been a major part of our digital strategy. On the other side, far side, that's the old Church of England website, and hopefully you will all have seen the new Church of England website. If not, do go have a look and play around. So this launched in November. We went from about 70,000 pages and documents on this site to 10,000. Which was a major achievement. And we really went from, this was described as a kind of an intranet for the church, to something more outward facing. And our audience, our focus on the audience on our news site is really outward facing to those who maybe only go to church Easter or Christmas, or only go to church for a wedding or for a baptism. So that is the audience that this site targets first, but caters to all our audiences. So we've got you can't see it on here, it's a bit blurry, but if you go have a look at the Churchbot website, we've got an Our Faith section where we're really starting to delve a bit deeper into what we believe and what going to church and praying is about, and what the Lord's Prayer is about, and the Ten Commandments, the Beatitudes, etc., etc. So we're really starting to explain all these in a way that people wanting to know more about faith can come and learn. So that's really, really exciting. And it's going well so far. We've had a 20% increase in page views. And this age range is really encouraging, because people think that the Church of England may just be all old people, but we're doing quite well. It's fairly well balanced, apart from the 18 to 24. It's a very well balanced age spread here. So that's really encouraging for us in the future. And now we've got this website built, we're not going to just launch it and say that's it for the next 5 years, we'll build another one then. We're going to be constantly developing it, adding more features, adding more content and functionality to really keep it fresh and exciting all the time. We've also,
Sorry, how do you collect video analytics to get that taken?
That's Google Analytics.
Yeah, the ages groups. Specific age groups.
Yeah, Google Analytics just gives you that. If you haven't gone to look at your Google Analytics for your website yet, do have a look, because it's going to give you lots of important information, like what pages are the most visited, and the age ranges, other demographics, what device they're using, what time of day they're coming onto the site, all sorts of important information which will hopefully influence your content on the site.
I'm pretty sure that you have to enable in your analytics, because it triggers certain types of cookies, which now obviously you have to say. But yeah.
And we've also refreshed the two archbishops' websites to fit alongside the Church of England website. So we had those 3 websites, and we also thought we didn't have enough to do, so we thought we'd also refresh a Church in the EU. So we did 4 websites in about 10 months. So we're also tired from that as well. So Church in the EU is our church finder, same as trying to find your nearest supermarket. And this gets even more visits than the Church of England website. I think we're about 13 million page views a year it gets. And so it's really important for us.
Question.
Yeah?
You didn't do that only on your own. You had an agency to help you through these 4 websites. So you did
we did have agency, yes. Different agency for the Church in the EU to the 3 Church of England and 2 archbishops, but yes, there were agencies involved.
I'm also really for you, because it's a huge amount of work.
Thank you. Yes, kept us busy, out of trouble. So Church in the EU, it was doing its job, but we really wanted to move it onwards. So this launched, I think, in December. This is the newer Church in the EU. Do go have a look. And we can now do some really clever stuff with it. So before you could search for your local church, now you can search for your local church with a particular facility or feature. So if maybe your nearest church isn't the right one for you, because if you're hearing impaired, you're going to want a service that does British Sign Language. So now you can find your nearest church that does British Sign Language. So you can really start to target the right church for you, which may not necessarily be the nearest church to you. And the thing we're really excited about is that we can now start to offer a Church in the EU as church websites. So for all the churches that don't have a lot of money for a church website, or what happens a lot, which is someone builds their website, leaves the church, and then no one can access the website anymore, this is the best solution for them. So we're really going to start to develop this, add more features for them, so they can start using this as the website for free. So that's really exciting for us. So hopefully we can save churches money, and they can use that money for more missional or evangelism projects. So this is we're very happy with the results of this as well. So more from Google Analytics. So in December we had a 1.5 million page views. That's up 50% on the previous month, on the previous December. And we had 56,000 church services listed for Christmas. So there was a high chance that you'd be able to find a Christmas service very close to you. So this peak here, that's Christmas Eve. So it just shows people are waiting for the very last minute to find a Christmas service near them. So it's what we say to churches when we're talking about social media and particularly advertising for them, is they don't need to do it weeks in advance. They should do it in the day, 2 days before the event, because that's when most people will be looking for an event. And again, age ranges are very well balanced. The fourth thing that we've done a lot of, and particularly on the website, is video. So I'll show you this quick video. We created 40 new videos for the Church of England website. A selection of this one is part of a collection called Faith in Action, where we were showing different parts of the country and how people were showing their faith in action. So we've got a young girl who bought a double-decker bus and turned it into a transportable youth centre. We've got a guy who runs a lunch club with some Syrian refugees. We've got an art chaplain. We've got all sorts of interesting videos. They're all on our website under Faith in Action, so do have a look. And then we had another section of videos that fitted into the Our Faith section, where people talked about what the Lord's Prayer meant to them and what Holy Communion means to them and things like that. So those are also really interesting. So I'll just show you this one video to show you the example. Hopefully. It'll play. If not, I've got it here somewhere. Oh, it's not playing. That's helpful.
I'm the captain of HMS St Albans.
Let's go back to the... See if I can get it on here. It's not working. Yeah, it was working on YouTube. When I come out of this, it goes there. Sorry about this.
Did you share the screen of the presentation to the...
I don't know.
If you come up the presentation, maybe... Is it open in YouTube on there?
I've got it up on my screen, yeah.
Okay. So, take this out and reconnect it. I need to share...
There we go. There we go, got it. Right, sorry about that.
My name is Margaret Hutchins. I'm the captain of HMS St Albans. The main highlight of the last year for HMS St Albans has been a 9-month deployment to east of Suez. This has involved countering narcotics, engaging with other nations to build their capacity, demonstrating the importance of UK interests east of Suez, and a huge number of other operations besides. Eddie is my bitch, or my chaplain on board. We have a great relationship in the fact that he can tell me exactly what he thinks, very irreverently at times, which is very necessary. We talk about the mood of the ship, the general feeling on board. He walks around, he talks to people, he's open, and people actually come and find him to ask for advice and to talk. He tells me what's going on board, and often those things that I don't get here otherwise, but done so in a very confidential way. He's a key part of my ship. Humankind, since the dawn of time, has held beliefs, and that has evolved into a state religion, which is the Church of England. So it's entirely right and proper that the Church of England has a role to play in the welfare and pastoral care of sailors who are there to protect the nation.
Okay, so that's just one of the videos.
Why don't you put text on the videos?
Why not text? There is subtitles available.
Okay.
We put subtitles on all of. There you go. For accessibility, we put subtitles on all our videos. It just wasn't on that one. That's one of the 40 new videos, and we make sure they're of high quality. One of our new team members is a video production person, so he's come from Sony, and he is creating really high quality videos for us. I'll show you another one he did in a moment, hopefully if I can get that to work. And we adapt them for the different platforms. So at Christmas, the videos we did a shorter version for Facebook, and then the longer version that was on our website and on, I think we put that one on Twitter and things. So we're making sure that we're adapting the videos for the different platforms and thinking about, who is going to be seeing that. I've seen recent stuff that said the videos that you put on Facebook should be about 15 seconds long, which isn't long at all. We do slightly more than that. We tend to keep to about 1 minute 30 at the max, and that was about 1 minute 40. So, we know that short videos work better. Anything longer than that, people won't watch it. So we have to try and pack in a lot of information to a very short video, particularly with Facebook where it auto-plays. You want to front-load your video as much as possible.
Have you used, for larger subjects, have you used such a compact serial videos? Does that work in a short form?
We haven't really. For Christmas we did 3 videos on the same kind of topic. Yeah. So one was on my mind's gone blank now. There were 3 different Christmas services.
So largely you keep it small.
Yeah, keep it small. Keep it really short and brief. Don't try and pack too much into it. If you wanted to, you could always do a long video and leave it on YouTube for people who are really interested in the subject. But for social media, it needs to be no more than 1.5 minutes.
We just broke it up into parts, and if they're interested, they click on the next parts, and that's when you move with it.
Yeah, we haven't done any particularly like that, but this is another stat for you here. So we've had 552 hours of our video content is watched each month. 90,000 video views on Facebook alone. So Facebook is where we get the majority of our views. We do put things on YouTube, but we don't get our views on YouTube. It may be the second largest search engine after Google, but it's not helping us at all. So Facebook is where we prioritise our videos. So that's something to think about for you. And we also have a load of apps. I don't know if anyone's downloaded any of our apps to play around with. We've got 8 apps there. So we had two Lent apps. We've got our reflections, we've got our lectionary, daily prayer, we've got Sunday worship, time to pray, and our psalms. So these are all produced from Church House Publishing, who create all our published books, but they also create our apps. So I can only imagine that our list of apps is going to increase. Although there are various things now where we would have said, let's do an app, and now we're thinking, let's just do a website. There are things where we said, let's do an website, and actually it's turned into an app. So you never know about these things. And actually, our Lent app did really, really well. So we're really thrilled with the results from that. So, apps are a big part of what we do, obviously, to make sure people can access our content on the go. Just to make sure you're following us on social media if you're not already. Our Twitter handles just changed this weekend. We were at C_of_E. We are now at Church of England. So we're very happy about that. Took us a while, but we got there. So make sure you're following us, having a look and see what we're doing. We're always going to be trying new things out. The benefit of this department now and the money we have is that we can really experiment and try new things and push what we do a bit further. So that's really exciting. So I'm going to look at Digital Labs. So going to go through kind of what the day was now, and then after the break, I'm going to go through like how the day was formed. So, did anyone see the CofE Digital Labs tweets or any social media about it in February? No. Okay. So, Digital Labs was an event to get together a load of Christian, techie, creative people, get them into a room together, get them to come up with some good solutions, some good digital solutions that we could then potentially build. And it was inspired by Kingdom Code, who were here yesterday. Is that right? Yesterday. So we met with them and we talked to them about how we could get involved with what they're doing, or if there's anything they can help us with. And what we didn't want to do is, so they have the hackathon that they run every year. What we didn't want to do is just run another hackathon. We didn't want to step on their toes, step on their territory, and try and do something that they're already doing. So Digital Labs came from us wanting to get into that space, but not do exactly what they were doing. So I've got a video, hopefully it'll work. It's not doing it again either. One second. I've got it, I just need to... Okay.
Have you got the...
That's the beginning. I had it a second ago.
Yeah, well, before I unplugged it and replugged it in when you had it on your screen.
Right. There we go. There. Move this over. There we go. This just gives you a flavour of the day.
Hello and welcome to the first ever Church England Digital Labs.
We're here at Manbury Hall in central London with over 60 different digital creators and innovators from all across the country to start working on real projects using digital technologies to innovate for the future.
We really want people to think about solutions that bring people into the church and also help grow people's faith.
We looked at the accessibility, inclusion, connecting the communities with lots of ideas there.
Over the course of today, we're going to try and get down to distill a couple of really great actionable ideas that are going to get funded, both with money, resources and tools around them.
Even if the ideas aren't successful, the fact is people will go on all sorts of churches in the UK, and when they go back to their own communities, they've got something that they've discussed here today, and hopefully, they might need to make that really in their hometown as well.
So what word would you use to sum up the day?
Oh, I would say enthusiasm, innovative, exciting, creative, vibrant.
And we'll follow along and find out all the more information that you need over on your Church Digital website, where you can get in touch with the ideas and follow up with your projects as well. And if you're following on Twitter or any of the social networks, check out hashtag CofE Labs for all more information on how you can participate in future digital lab events.
So that was the day. So the purpose, we had two purposes, bring digital people together in one room and develop ideas to further the church digitally. So we really wanted to start building up great networks of not just coders, but also anyone in the Church of England who wanted to kind of use their creativity for the church, whether they build websites, whether they just did graphic design, or whether they just have really, really good ideas. We wanted to get them all into a room, get them to know each other, and give us a great network that we can use in the future. But also we wanted to hopefully come out with a day with some great ideas of projects that we could then build that would then push the Church of England forward. So obviously all the ideas that came out of the day, they had to be part of those three key topics that we focus on, digital evangelism, digital discipleship and the common good. And that was their aim for the day, was to build something that fitted into that the church could use. So there was a few key parts of the day. So we had specially invited participants. So anyone that came to the day, they had to apply to be there for the day, and they had to tell us what their skills and their knowledge was to make sure that they would actually be able to contribute to the day. We had about 100 or so applicants, and we could only invite about 50. So there was demand for it. And when we'll be hopefully running again next year, and hopefully another 50 people will get to come to that then. So we wanted to make sure that the people that came really could contribute to the day. So, they were specially invited. And we made sure there was prayer and worship throughout the day. So the day started with communion. Just before dinner, we had a bit of worship again, and we had what we called our digital chaplain for the day. He's a vicar based in London who's in a very techie area, part of London. That he knows all the people. He knows how to talk to them. So he was our digital chaplain for the day, and was around whenever people wanted to speak to him. He was available. So we made sure that prayer and worship was a key part of the day. And we had highly skilled mentors and facilitators. So highly skilled because one of them was in the room. Pete was one of our mentors. So we had James Porter, who you saw in the video. He comes from Lego. He was one of our facilitators. And James Dock, who was part of Kingdom Came, was also one of our facilitators. And we had various mentors sitting at each of the tables. Whether there was one who was a vicar who's come from social media. We had Pete, we had someone from a web agency. We had a couple of people from YouVersion come over from America especially for it, which was really exciting. So we had lots of people with lots of expert knowledge who could help and support the teams in their ideas, which was really important. And then we used the Google Sprint model, which I'll go over after the break, which really helped to structure the day and helped to really develop the ideas that were coming about. It was important that we brought people on social media along for the day. So even though we were using our own Twitter account, we did a Digital Labs takeover of the day. We had obviously the hashtag. We were live streaming throughout the day. There was all sorts of images and videos being posted on social media because even though lots of people couldn't make it, we wanted them to feel included. There was a particular part of the day where we asked participants to test their ideas, and we got them to share their ideas on social media and got feedback that way. So social media was a big part of the day. And finally, open minds was really important throughout the day. What we didn't want is to people come with an idea they already had and the hopes that they could get us to build it for them. It was important that they come with completely fresh minds, really open, and hoping really there to work together to build something. So we didn't want any egos, we didn't want anyone thinking that it was all about them and their idea. It was about coming together and building great ideas together.
So, what did the participants get from it? I mean, you wanted them to give to you, so why would they apply?
For many reasons. Some just liked the idea of the day. For lots of Christians, it was how they could use their knowledge and skills to further the church, which they obviously believed a lot in, and being able to say that they got their idea built at the end of the day, that's really exciting as well. So there's various reasons. We were completely honest with them throughout the day that this is what they were coming to do. So for them it was a chance to network, it was a chance to use their skills for God, and it was a chance to build something that the Church of England could end up using. So that's why. So here are the final ideas that came out of the day. So we had Pray Go with the augmented reality prayer, which Pete, that was your team, right? Yeah. So that was where you could hold up your camera and you could see prayers in the streets, like little like notices. Am I explaining this right? So you could put prayers on things that were important, or you could see prayers that other people had posted in particular parts of the street. So maybe on a local school, there could be a prayer about the school. We had Which Way, which was one of the two. There was two similar groups. This was about answering questions about faith in the Bible. We had All Saints, which was an online church idea. We had Lend a Hand, which was a way to put those who needed help in touch with people who were able to offer help. I Want Help, which was online support regarding mental health. And then the two winning ideas was CofE House, which was an online image and video resource hub for churches. And finally, hashtag Ask the Church, chatbots to ask the church questions. Like, what does the Bible say about the environment, for example? So those are the two ideas. I'll show you, there's a video that probably won't work. It's not on YouTube. Oh, no, it is. So you can't see it, but there's a question being asked. Let's come here. Then the Ask the Church is going to give an answer, and then you've got some options to delve deeper into that answer. So the person selected, is God really good? And there's an answer to that as well. So you can have this ongoing conversation to find out more about the Bible, find out more about the Christian faith in a way that maybe for other people going up to a vicar or going up to someone in church and having to ask those questions can be a bit scary. And, the Bibles could be a bit impenetrable to someone who's never read it before. So this really helps people, on the first step of the journey. And it can also be used on social media. So there's an example of someone asking a question, putting in a hashtag, and a bot on Twitter finding that answer, finding that question, and giving an answer to it. So that's how I stole this from their presentation. This is how they proposed that the chatbot would work. CofE House couldn't find their presentation, so I've got a photo of them presenting it. So this was, so basically they wanted to bring together all the really good, high-quality images and videos that not just the Church of England had produced, but other people had produced, and put them into one place that was free to use for churches. A lot of time is, wasted by churches having to find good graphics or good videos to share, and by offering them this, it saves them a lot of time. So we really liked that idea because it was a way to get churches to be able to communicate better and hopefully reach more people. Now, I am 15 minutes early because that's the end of that coffee break. But so, have we got any questions before coffee? Yes.
Could you tell me again that how did you find the interested people showing what kind of makeup?
Just on social media. We put out a blog, and we put out, and part of that blog there was a link to a survey where they had to fill in to say they were interested, and then we got in touch with them to find out a bit more about them. So I think we only put it out once, probably 2 or 3 times that, in the space of a couple of weeks, and we got 100 participants, 100 interested people. So there was a lot of demand for it, so that was really exciting.
Could you link your blog somewhere so we could see what kind of message?
Yeah, I can find it. It was a while ago now, but I can definitely find that and share that out for people, absolutely.
Can you say anything about your resources? How many people working in the team and how much money you can spend on this work? Sounds like paradise.
I can't talk about money because I don't deal with the budgets, but we're a team of 5.
Will you make up the team? What roles are they?
So we have our head of digital, who's our fearless leader, who keeps us all in line, and really inspires the team. We've learned so much from him. He's come from doing digital at Tesco and at Bupa, so he's come with a lot of knowledge and experience. We've got I really don't know everyone's titles, which is really bad. We've got our video producer who does all our videos. He does a lot of our graphics as well. And he's got a colleague who supports him with the video and graphic production and does a lot of our social media. I do a lot of the social media day to day. and keeping the website running. And then we've got our digital comms and content manager who kind of leads on a lot of getting the content ready for campaigns. So that's the digital team. We sit inside the communications team, so we deal a lot with media, with the press side of things, but we also sit half in the evangelism and discipleship department, so we're doing a lot of campaigning stuff with them as well. So that's kind of how we're organised, which is always... Church of England's a very complicated organisation, so hopefully that made sense. Anyone else? Got any questions?
Regarding the participants, what were their typical background? And that is my first question. The second is, which guys did you sort out? Were they sticking out badly, or did they not fit what you were looking for?
People's backgrounds, it was really varied actually. So we had a lot of clergy who had, previous careers in digital. We had people with current careers, either working for web agents, Christian people working for web agencies, and we had just people in the pews who either used to work or currently worked in various digital roles. So we asked them what was their current skill levels in social media, web design and app building, and whether they had a current digital role, and that helped us to kind of figure it out. So they were coming from all over the country, but yeah, they all had something to bring. We made sure that there was a bit of everything. So there was someone who maybe didn't really understand web building so much, but was great on social media, and some people who were great at app and web building, but not so great at social media. So we made sure there was a bit of balance of everything there. So hopefully that complemented the teams. And the other question was,
did the people that didn't fit or didn't qualify, did they?
So we had a team of judges, 5 people. We had James from Nego, we had our head of digital, we had the Dean of Winchester, we had Linda Davies, who does digital at the BBC, and we had Siku, who's a digital theologian. He wrote the Manga Bible. And they looked at all the projects, and they saw all the presentations. The ones that didn't, win, it wasn't that they were bad, it was maybe because it maybe couldn't be done in a certain amount of time, it wasn't feasible in the time frame we had, or the budget we had for them. So that may have been a reason, or maybe it just didn't fit as well into our 3 buckets that, than others. So we knew we wanted to pick 1 or 2 winners, so it was basically which ones kind of inched ahead. And it was actually quite tough, because I was sat in the judging room as it was going on, and it was quite hard for them to decide which ones to give the it wasn't really a prize, but who won the kind of it being belt.
My question is more regarding the timeline, because we see that there was a huge work on strategy and on really the needs and what they're putting out there, the audiences, and I wanted to know what came first. Somebody suddenly started this project of rebranding everything and put the money in it. My question is, what was the sudden budget change or mindset change in the church?
So the money that we've had to do off the digital has come from the Renewal and Reform project. I don't know if you've heard about Renewal and Reform at all. So it's the Church of England's programme of initiatives to grow the church. Not just bums on seats, but in discipleship and in more clergy. So it's putting a lot of money into this programme in various different departments. And a previous director of communications bid for the money to do more work in digital, got the money, and when our head of digital, Adrian, came in, it really kind of started there, and we've done a lot in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, it's actually amazing. And so it was 5 days, and then how long did it take you to go from somebody came in, you're like, let's do strategy, let's do audience, let's redo the website, let's have a real proper strategy thing. How?
It was really quick. So whilst he came in October, We built our Christmas website and campaign in 2 months, literally from the day we started, I think. And in that same time, we were also working on we did a bit of research project before the new website was built. And a lot of our audiences have come from that research project. So we were doing those both things at the same time. So, you know, we have been really busy. And so that was, you know, we got the Christmas campaign done, and we worked on our research for the website, and that has really defined the audiences and strategy. Yes?
You were saying that Adrian, who's setting it up, came from the commercial sector.
Yeah.
From Bupa and Tesco beforehand. She's a commercial leader in the area, but also it's the use of agencies as well, and also the digital reference group with people from Lloyd's, Lego, Jamie Oliver stuff and everything. So you've got kind of industry leading experts who surround the team and supported them.
Yeah.
And so I think the team do a fantastic job. But it's all been set up so professionally and so well.
Absolutely.
That you're able to make that quick shift.
Yeah, Adrian has made a massive difference in a short amount of time using his commercial experience. Our digital reference group, like Pete said, is a group of people from the commercial sector who can come and meet with us, hear our plans, and look back at what we've done and give us advice, which has been absolutely invaluable. And that's really helped us, keep on track to make sure we're not, diverting off in the wrong direction. And the problem we have now is that we're kind of getting a reputation in the building for being able to deliver these projects, and now everyone wants us. So now, unfortunately, we have to, say no a lot of the time because, we have a focus on what we need to do, and that's keeping us really busy. But we try and help where we can.
Question regarding the new website of Churchbot. How many people are working with it on that? Is it also a part of responsibility of your team?
Yes, so we were responsible for delivering the website, so we started the project I think in March of last year, and it launched in November. And so we have different departments who edit content on the site, but we're the kind of responsible in the end for kind of content and features and functionality. Yeah. So like I said, there'll be ongoing work on that to make sure that we're constantly adding new features. There's new stuff happening like all the time now. So. We're really excited about what we've got planned for it, and hopefully make sure that it'll be a really useful website for people. I think we're at 10:25.
Yeah. Great. So I think we will have a slightly longer coffee break now, and we'll be back here at 11. If that's okay. Great.